All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day three of the SMLCS. Uh, Back up on with a little choppy start there, but it's okay. We are back and we are ready for another two games, considering we missed day two and both games. One due to planned absence, and the other, of course, due to, well, a player straight up not showing up. But let's look into today's matchups. Today, game one, we have, of course, Win Diesel on the blue side versus Damon Gaming, not Dam 1, my bad. And game two, BSG versus MTC, with BSG taking the blue side.
We got actually some pretty exciting games here today. We're getting to see Varsity Games play for the first time after that unfortunate uh, automatic loss from yesterday. But we're also going to see teams adapting after a day's worth of play. So game one, we have Win Diesel versus Damon Gaming, and I am excited to see how our Damon team adapts after their first loss. Right? They had a sort of a lack of adaptability in their first loss. So I want to see what sort of lessons they took away from it and how they can stay.
Right, I definitely agree. Win Diesel should definitely here look to draft around a way so that their opponents don't have an obvious weakness that they can abuse here, and look to play heavily around their jungle with their mid and also support roams. Of course, Damwon, not Damwon, I keep saying Damwon, Damon Gaming, you guys stole their logo. Damon Gaming should definitely look to have a draft plan in which you could play multiple ways in case things don't go according to plan. Of course, last time we saw the same repeat engage with the Hecarim Shen Galio combo. Even though it stopped working at a point in the game, they just kept on trying the same thing. So hopefully, it will be good to see them mix it up a bit and maybe catch their opponents off guard.
Yeah, for me, Win Diesel really just has to try and unlock Rio Zilligai, their star support player, to see how he can match the enemy jungle pressure and just sort of influence the entire map. I think if they can play that sort of style, they should have a pretty easy way to work around Damon's sort of lane focus play that we saw in the last game. And for Damon, I mean, my comments are pretty much the same as yours. If you have a draft strategy, make sure that you can adapt on the fly. If you can only play a certain type of engage, and if that engage doesn't work, you have to start problem solving. You have to look for picks. You have to see if you can bait out odd man fights. And if Damon can successfully do that, if they can successfully problem solve and make sure once again that they draft a strong bot side and maybe a safe slash winning mid lane, I think they should be very good in this match.
All right, that looks to be all the important notes and catch up from day one, moving into day three here. So, if we can, let's hop to the draft. Oh, Mark, you're still streaming us. Hi everyone. We're still here. It's like the newscaster thing where they just have the silence before they start talking after they swap over. All right, moving into the draft here. What will Win Diesel ban here? Perhaps a Kaisa, maybe?
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh wow, wonderful prediction. But yeah, I'm looking to see Wendy's to focus in on the ball lane as that was the best performing lane in Damon's last game.
Right, of course. A smart Volibear ban here coming out of Damon Gaming, targeting the top lane.
Yeah, we've seen that Volibear definitely can be a priority for Wind Diesel, so a very sound ban to sort of get rid of that potential flex. The Sphere Hover coming in for Wind Diesel, again, not surprised. They're targeting Delhi and just how powerful he can be on some of these hard carry agents.
Right, of course. The bot lane is not the strongest point on Win Diesel, so taking out a lot of these picks is definitely sure to help. Also considering that, Win Diesel I don't know how confident I would be leaving a melee Yasuo in lane alone with a Samira and engage support to combo with it.
Damon correctly identifying again the Yone from day one, seemingly an important ban and a potential carry pick for Blacks in the mid lane.
Alright, waiting on Wind Diesel's third ban here for the first phase. Your cover. And the York ban
will be the York ban for
okay.
phase 1. It looks like Damon Gaming or Wind Diesel might have some information on Damon Gaming's top laner and his preferred playstyle.
Right, the Togman, right?
And Damon Gaming again, another pick taken away from Blacks in the mid lane with the Silas ban.
Right, that's a very good ban. And the Diana pick for most likely the mid lane here for Jorolax. Okay.
And it will be the Diana first pick for Wind Diesel, a pick that Jorolax is comfortable on and has been putting a lot of time into.
Right. Also, Diana has very strong team fight, which we've seen Wind Diesel also draft around in the previous game. We'll see how that turns out. Oh, Damon Gaming here with an interesting Jhin first pick, taking an immobile 80 carry into a team that traditionally likes to play very dive and aggressive is an interesting note here. What kind of support will they try to pick to help him out? And an immobile mid lane damage threat. These are some
This could also be. I am unaware as to Damon Gaming's champion, but the Fire support could actually be a really good answer into the engage that Wind Diesel wants. The big engage is a lot of zone control that can limit Wind Diesel's engage options, which buys a lot of space for the Jhin to do damage.
That could be what they are looking for, but I'm still a bit worried as this is a Diana Nautilus combo versus two immobile damage threats.
So the Nautilus, we assume picked up for a real Zilla guy. The Nautilus jungle buffs did come through on this patch, but I'm unsure as to whether Wind Diesel's practiced on it.
Right, the 300% damage on the Nautilus E for monsters may not be as well versed. Oh, and the Yasuo pick here, likely for the Moose Man in the bot lane from the side of Wind Diesel.
So again, we see Wind Diesel drafting like heavy engage and melee comps with, again, missing a lot of wave clears. So I want to see Gaming sort of, I guess, keep playing it safe and standard. I mean, you don't need to complicate things with just a full melee draft.
Will be the Kane locked in for Damon Gaming here.
Now this could work out very well. I mean, with triple melee bot side, Frost is a definite possibility and a definite threat that can really sort of both have a counter engage and an engage and sort of just a pseudo frontliner that'll never die.
Right, Gore Drinker is of course not a terrible mythic anymore as it did get its buffs again. So I believe it's 10% of health for the heal. I think it got buffed. That and another scaling number, I forgot which one it was. And it looks like it will be the Ornn ban from Damon Gaming, targeting, of course, Sumo Monkey 44 in the top lane, well-versed tank player, and Urgot in response, and of course Kindred to deny the possibility of a ranged threat on the side of Wind Diesel.
Yeah, so a lot of topside focus coming in from both teams, just wanting to limit the champion pool as much as possible. Important to note that Damon Gaming's Shen from Game 1 is still open if they, again, want to opt into another top lane tank that should have more value on saving the Jin's life in a dive comp.
Right, and it will be the Alistair here locked in for Damon Gaming.
And this does signal to Wind Diesel that the Vigar will be mid lane against the Diana and not as a answer to an engage bot lane.
Getting on Wind Diesel here.
I am a bit surprised that Damon Gaming didn't opt into the Leona. Unlike the first go round, the Leona is open, so it could have been a nice answer. And actually,
Oh, it's a
locked
Diana
in.
jungle. It was a flex pick the whole time. Never saw it coming.
And it looks like the Diana will indeed be placed in the jungle and Zed mid. Honestly, I'm liking this.
Unless it's a Zed jungle, you know, he did also get a few jungle buffs, but it's highly unlikely, but it's still possible if they so choose to play Zed jungle.
And the Mordekaiser will be the last lock-in for Wind Diesel, and it is another full melee team comp for Wind Diesel.
I still think it's a bit dangerous here. The full melee team comp didn't really work out last time, and Win was able to take full advantage of it. So we'll see how it works here for Damon Gaming, as the Warwick will be locked in as their jungle pick, or their top pick? It's top, right? Unless it's lane Kane? It's top Warwick, right?
I am honestly unsure. Either of which I'm excited though, because Warwick as an answer to a 5 melee team is actually really good, because whoever goes in first is getting suppressed and chain CC'd without a doubt, and then the baby cage will also buy a lot of space for the damage dealers of Damon Gaming to do what they need to do and win team fights.
Right. Well, looks like we will be moving to break soon before the game. Any final notes on this draft? I think it's pretty well balanced.
I can honestly say that Wind Diesel has I think a better shot of finding the team fights that they want compared to their last draft. But again, their full melee team comp just worries me, given how it turned out last time. So we're gonna have to see how Damon Gaming can correctly adapt to the 5 melee champions.
Right. I think it'll be interesting to actually see Mr. Monkey 44 on a damage pick this time, on a bruiser pick instead of a traditional tank on the Mordekaiser. So we'll see how that plays out in his favor. Yeah, let's send it to break now. We'll be back when we return to the game. Mark, I think you got the wrong one. Oh, there we are. All right, and we are back on the Rift, everyone. Day 3, Game 1. Win Diesel versus Damon Gaming.
It's looking to be an absolutely spicy game with a bunch of absolutely spicy picks.
Right, and it looks like both teams will spread out and fan out into the regular 5-point start, watching for invades on both sides. And it looks like it'll just be a regular start. Early ward in the Pixel Brush from Jorolax, and both junglers are, of course, waiting at the opposing Pixel Brush in a standoff, of course, probably to drop that ward soon.
Important to note, TP advantage goes to Win Diesel, which plays very well into what they are trying to do, which is get a lot of early kills and make the game into a fiesta, because a bunch of melee and engage champs do very well in fiestas.
Right. Also, it's probably important to note that Damon Gaming here is playing quite a different comp compared to day one. They have no globals this time around and no teleports. So it looks like it'll be an attempt to lane Kingdom everywhere on the map, or else I don't see how they plan to win this game.
Yeah, me either. But like, presumably they have some plan or some confidence in their ability to do that. I do want to see, the TP advantage being played around. I want to see things being respected, especially the all-in potential after a certain point from mid lane.
Right, of course, and it does look like top lane Togman will have the push because Mr. Sumo Monkey 44 had to leash his jungler. Perhaps Damon Gaming made a note of that.
Yeah, it should be information over to Damon Gaming about the kind of path that Chris Dragonfist wants to go for, and which parts of the map should have pressure at which points. Although we're not really surprised by the fact that bot lane on Damon Gaming's side should have the push for the majority of this game.
Ogman and Mr. Sumo Monkey get into a little bit of a brawl up in the top lane. Mr. Sumo Monkey procs his passive. Togman going in for the trade. Barrier comes out early from Togman, and looks like it'll keep the lane relatively even for now. Both the champs have healing capabilities, and Togman did start a corrupting potion. Oh, looks like Pause will come in as the jungler for when Diesel will disconnect, so that is sort of awkward.
While we're in this slight pause, I think it's important to note that actually, I think Mr. Sumo Monkey 44 could have gone for that solo bolo on the top side, given that the clear wasn't complete and he wasn't exactly using the trade by any means.
Yeah, definitely. I agree wholeheartedly there. I definitely believe that Mr. Sumo Monkey 44, with some extra confidence, could have been able to take down Togman, especially after getting the barrier in that exchange. He had Conqueror fully stacked as well. Just wait a few seconds for his Q to come back up. And another isolated Q with an auto probably would have got the job done.
Important
Flash
to note
Q.
that now that Damon Gaming's top laner no longer has the combat summoner, huge advantage to Mr. Sumo Monkey 44 with the teleport. He now gets to kind of dictate the lane however he wants to. If he wants it to sit under his tower, he can. If he wants to consistently have the push and invade with little to no consequence because of his teleport, he can. If he wants to force a play bot lane, he can also do that. So Damon Gaming have to, again, respect the teleport advantage and play around that accordingly.
Right. Of course, the the teleport advantage is going to be huge because even after he takes a horrible trade, he's just back in lane, and of course he has the push again. This teleport is going to come in huge for the top lane if he knows how to utilize it correctly, because he's playing against to combat some opponent who's already blown it in an early trade.
It's also important to note the implications of the teleport as the game goes later. The Mordekaiser will actually be able to just be in a side lane, and Damon Gaming will have, it'll always be a risk to match it, because even if the Mordekaiser can be matched by the Wark in terms of pure combat ability, the Wark can't be there at the fight at Baron, potentially, whereas the Mordekaiser can. So Damon Gaming have to play their map movements very carefully, and they have to make sure that they don't get caught unawares by a teleport that they're not accounting for.
Right, of course. This is not a very interesting game state when I re-examine it.
Well, it's early
Yeah.
jungle paths.
Hmm. I still don't know if the comfort pick on the Yasuo was worth it in the bot lane, actually. Against an
It's
experienced, like, marksman player like Deli, you will rarely have the pressure or the push in the lane.
it also seems a little hard to sort of dash to the minions versus an Alistar who can just Q you first, knock you up, and then W you away, and then you have no more minions to go through, and you are now away from the fight that you wanted to engage in the first place. So the Alistar should have ample disengage in the bot side to keep Deli safe while he farms up on this gen.
Right. And after Chris Dragonfist reconnects, probably both junglers will just be pathing towards the bot side. Hopefully we'll get to see an awesome Scuttle Crab fight, but of course we won't know until he comes back. I guess it is important to note though that Jorlax does seem to have the push in the mid lane for that fight, and on the contrary, Delhi and Comfortable Land have their lane pushed and the pressure ready in the bot lane as well for Damon Gaming.
Alright, finally the pause is over and we'll get back to the game.
Right, hook lands instantly off the pause from Real Zilla guy, hits on Comfortable Land, but trade will result in nothing. Mooseman dashing in, looking for the auto Q, and not much will happen of it.
Actually, very decent trade coming out from Wind Diesel in the bot side off the pause to catch their opponents unawares.
Right, it looks like Togman will have the push in the top lane though, so perhaps he can use that to help secure some scuttle vision or so for his jungler when they make their way back up. And it looks like the Scuttle Crab will go uncontested though to the Chicken Knock.
Yeah, Damon Gaming having first dibs on the bot side scuttle there, purely because of the faster clear from the Kane. As we see a little bit of a scuffle out in the river.
Right, perhaps a bit of unfamiliarity with the matchup in the top lane though. I don't believe Mordekaiser loses to Warwick top, but perhaps, you know, again, unfamiliarity with the matchup is making this a bit difficult for Mr. Sumo Monkey 44, which totally understandable.
Yeah, both teams just more or less content to just farm and sort of tap each other to feel each other out and see which plays are worth going for.
Right, of course, hook lands onto Deli from Real Zilla guy in the bot lane. Ignite comes out, Mooseman dash forward, gets a flash from Deli, W lands. Chris Dragonfist further on the chase, goes on to Comfortable Land, heal blown from Deli, and re-engage is not yet possible.
Really great gank there from Wind Diesel, blowing 3 important summoners from the top side.
Right, Togman trading a bit here with Mr. Sumo Monkey, but Mr. Sumo Monkey has a wave. Jorlax is sort of caught out here. And the auto attack from the Vygar takes it.
Takes first blood in the mid lane for Damon Gaming. Very important kill for Turtle Tunes in the mid lane to sort of some of them. So Jorlax playing very aggressive and actually very clean with his Z combos in the mid lane.
Yeah, although they did wait out the shadow in the trade to make sure he had no escape there. He could have potentially flashed earlier to dodge the Kane W. Blades reach. Oh, engage comes out of Real Zilla guy. Comfortable Land with a good peel. W, but not much happens from the Jhin, but looks like the Kane will show up first, but the kill will still go over to Real Zilla guy. Chickenagi here on the chase. Real Zilla guy lands the passive route, but Deli's W will find Real Zilla guy, but not much will happen. Fourth shot is prepped, but there will be nothing. And that will be the first Drake, Infernal Drake, going over to Wind Diesel.
Bot lane of Wind Diesel's playing very right now. Real Zilla guy has landed some really great hooks close to the minions, as we see Chris Dragonfist maybe looking for something bot lane. No, just content to clear some vision and walk away.
Smart call, as the Alistar was making his way back.
I'm actually very impressed with how Wind Diesel's bot lane has been playing. They haven't been afraid to just sort of take any fight that they've given. And Damon Gaming seeming to lack any sort of respect for the, let's say, generous Nautilus hook hitbox that just keeps landing over and over.
Right, of course, more impressive trading here. Ulti comes out of Joralax, but Bear here popped. It is no use, he's already gone. Deathmark doesn't even need to pop for Joralax.
Clean. That was smooth Zed combo into a solo bolo for Joralax in the mid lane. You know, Joralax making Zed look very strong right now in the current state of things.
Do you know the timing for the Vigar cage with the Zed ults? Because you can catch him when he comes out behind you, but like the timing has to be there.
Yeah,
and
the timing
clearly,
has to be very well done. So it takes a little bit of time for the stun on the baby fish to land in the first place. So I imagine like as soon as you see him walking towards you, you sort of have to have very good preamble to hit in the first place.
Looks like a top lane skirmish 2v2 will come out. Infinite Duress does come out of the Warwick, but it will find one, but... Oh, and looks like the Warwick will go down. Flash follow, but not quite. The Q from Warwick does follow up there, and both kills will go over to the Togman, the Pogman, in the top lane.
Really clean, actually, Warwick Q there from the Togman. Warwick Q does actually follow dash spells in the middle of channeling it, so very cleanly executed in the top side, and that is a lot more essence given over to Damien Gaming's game, which will very much accelerate this Ross transfer.
Perhaps the Mordekaiser ultimate should have been used a bit earlier there to separate the 2v2 into a 1v1 for a bit, just to buy a bit more time for Chris Dragonfist there. That fight sort of played out a bit awkwardly.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if they would have won either side of it.
No, but because if he used the Warwick, if he used his ult to cancel the... Oh wait, no, he was the one who was ulted. Well,
yeah.
Who knows? If he, maybe he could have used his own ult and to cancel the Warwick ult by ulting it so the Warwick ult misses. And another ultimate Deathmark will come out from Joralax here, but this time he does not find the shurikens. None will land, and Turtle Teams will walk away alive. No barrier, no flash need to be blown. Oh, Mr. Sumo Monkey taking Togman to the Death Realm, but not quite under turret, so he will just kind of stand there and nothing will happen.
I think another slightly missed opportunity. Mr. Sumo Monkey seemingly went out on that trade in the end, as we see Damien making a play on the mid lane.
Of course, Joralax does have flash here, and it is blown. Real Zilla looking for another engage on a comfortable land, but looks like they will just go even. Not much will happen. Knock up lands, but nothing will be there. Chris Dragonfist making his way up into the top lane, finds Q onto Togman. Togman escapes with his ult, but red buff slow is keep him in there, but he walks out.
It's like both teams completely unwilling to give any sort of leeway to each other, as just ganks after plays keep.
Right, it looks like Chignok will be caught out in the top lane though, but he gets away. Easy Q over the wall.
I'd like to point out that in this case Joralax has a 10-minute Dustblade, which is a lot of power this early on in the game.
That is true. Looks like I'm not well versed in Warwick top builds, but it looks like Togman might be playing Ezreal or something with this build.
I think the idea is Tear the Goddess is actually a very efficient mana item if you want to make sure that you're not topped off but not losing a bunch of mana in lane. I think math-wise, it's only a loss in gold of like 100 or less when fully stacked. I think the Sheen is most likely building towards a Divine Sunder. I would expect it to be a Divine Sunder or maybe a Trinity Force, which gives him a little bit more power fighting all of these melee champions on the side of Wind Diesel. We're gonna have to see how the game progresses.
Right. Mr. Sumo Monkey here, sacrificing health to clear the wave a bit. I don't know if it was completely necessary earlier before, but Infinite Duress from Togman will land, and it will be the solo kill. Late flash from Mr. Sumo Monkey, and he goes down. And it will... Go ahead.
Sorry, no, it's important for that is that now Wind Diesel no longer has the teleport to support them at this dragon fight.
Right, and it is, of course, Damon Gaming that makes their first Overx combo is found on Chris Dragonfist, counter engage from Real Zilla Guy. And it looks like the Yasuo will find two with the last breath, but he will dash face first into the baby cage. Deli here, death mark, but he lives. Ignite does not tick him down. Zed won't find the kill.
Importantly, Mr. Swimmonkey used TP to get down to the bottom
Oh no,
side.
Real Zilla Guy will find himself hooked into the baby cage. Excellent play from Turtletons there.
It's important to take stock of just what was lost for that play. Mr. Swimmonkey TP bot lane is losing a lot of waves topside. Togman gets a lot of free time to move around the map, take some extra camps, and that final kill on the outset was just sort of the icing on the cake for that really good counter, a really good heads-up play from Damon.
Right. Perhaps a bit of a misplay there into the team fight. The baby cage is actually surprisingly effective, as the Yasuo and the Diana have a good. They like to dash into it.
Yeah, once they're within the baby cage, it sort of gives the Kayn free reign to just sort of guarantee the W hit and all of the damage that he can pump out at once. Important to note, Togman does complete the Divine Sunder, like we were saying. Gives him a lot of power in this 1v1. Honestly, Mr. Sumoki is going to have a really hard time laning.
Baby cage does find Chris Dragonfist. He is so low, but Mr. Sumo Monkey saves him with the Death Realm. Of course, Togman camping outside. And as Mr. Sumo Monkey exits, he instantly goes down to a suppressed stun combo. Well played from Togman and Turtletoons, keeping their jungler alive there, and it will be Herald to the side of Damon Gaming.
It's a really great mechanical play here as Togman is sniffing Chris Dragonfist in the jungle, just pushing him out.
Rolex is hovering.
I would like to see Damon Gaming use this Herald to sort of further their top advantage. Right now, Togman is surprisingly very ahead on the work and is becoming an absolute menace to deal with, especially given the Divine Sunder build, because all of these champions
hook on the Deli. Last
plan.
breath comes through from Mooseman, and he will find the kill on the Deli. A bit of a misplay there, disrespecting the hook, as you were saying again.
Great punish there from Real Zilla Guy, honestly. His Nautilus has been sublime this game.
Right, he's finding the hooks, he's getting what he needs for the Moose Man to make his move.
And despite all of that earlier action and all of the good plays that Damon Gaming were making, it is actually Wind Diesel to the Dragon first, and this will be their second Dragon plane. And the soul of our game will be Ocean, which is actually very imperative for both of these teams.
Right. You know, looking back though at this top lane matchup, I really do think that Mr. Sumo Monkey was perhaps a bit too passive. There were moments when he had the pushing wave and the minion advantage, and like early Mordekaiser damage is like nothing to scoff at, although Infinite Duress will come out. Togman perhaps overexerting himself here a bit. Won't find anything. Chris Dragonfist with the disconnect once more. Will a pause come through? No, he's back. Very awkward.
Yeah, it seems that after that early blunder from Mr. Sumo Monkey, it seems now that with the work as head as he is, this matchup is really unplayable.
Right, but I'm saying earlier, I feel like and the pause does come through, but you know, I'm gonna continue with my thought here. I saw a lot of times where he had the wave advantage, and he definitely had the trading advantage, but he just decided to retreat instead and let Warwick zone him off the wave, which was a bit strange. Perhaps again, unfamiliarity with the matchup, but I'd like to see a bit more confidence from Mr. Sumo Monkey on these damage picks. I really think he could definitely pressure Warwick here earlier on when he did have the minion advantage and of course passive ready. But he just sort of backed off the wave and gave over the push to Togman so Chris couldn't make those plays up top.
Right. So, with the game state we're in, Damon Gaming up roughly 2,600 gold, give or take. Let's talk avenues back into the game, right? Let's talk They do have the 2 dragons. They can be working towards Soul. Let's talk about. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, looks like all our games are frozen. This is a bit awkward because it's kind of the League client's fault at this point. And we're back. Right, continue on the thought with the dragons.
So let's talk avenues for Wind Diesel to sort of be a little bit more comfortable in this game. As I say that, Togman goes in and makes it into play.
Monkey will find the shutdown solo kill, but Rift Herald will take the tower. Chicken OK going in for a 2v1 here. Will find the kill onto Mr. Sumo Monkey, but will go down as Chris Dragonfist shows up. And Jorlax secures the kill, but of course, another depth charge will find his way onto Deli. The Mooseman here dashing around. Won't quite find the kill though. Deli's still hanging on to heal, but no flash.
Well, I mean, we were talking about avenues back into the game, and that's definitely one of them. They can absolute into play when Togman runs under the tower before he gets there, as Chris Dragonfist goes for all in mid.
Oh, he won't find anything and will expend his own flash. Turtletoon's only expending barrier there, holding onto his own flash as well. A bit of an overreach again. Game freezing up a bit awkwardly. W will find his way onto Mooseman from Deli. Pulverized combo comes out onto the Mooseman. Mooseman going in for a desperation play. Ignite comes out. He goes down. It's too late. No damage. Deli walks away in the 2v1 with the kill.
Really great 2v2 heads-up play from Damon Gaming to get back some of the pressure that they were losing, given that Wind Diesel was just not giving them any space to whatsoever with the Nautilus ultimate.
Wait, is Deli using the special chroma, the darker blue one, or is it the default? No, it's the default. It looked like it while it was basic. Right. Back to the important part of the game. Togman here in the blue side jungle, looking for a bit of a vision, although he will get caught out by Chris's Crescent Strike, and he kind of just walks away.
Togman right now is pretty unkillable to the top jungle 2v1 at the very least. They're going to need Jorlax there if he wants any hope of killing him, given that Togman has exactly 0 armor to deal with the Zed, and this Zed is a little scary to the Damon Gaming, doing how much havoc he could do in the backline.
Right. Of course, Real Zilla guy here looking for the roam, trying to get his mid further ahead. They will secure the bot side Scuttle Crab, well, the only Scuttle Crab on the map, because that's how League of Legends works. Deli might base track into a Zed here. Oh, he does steal the Scuttle. Pulverized combo comes out, saves Jorlax. Dredgeline will find Deli. Death mark onto Deli, and he goes down. Jorlax back into the fight. Will find Chicken OK. Gets out of the baby cage with the R.
Kind of a misplay there on Damien Gaming's part. They go for the Scuttle take when their team is not yet close enough to see them, and Wind Diesel accurately identifies that they could just turn on Deli immediately and completely destroy him. And with some fancy footwork from Dorlax on the Zed that he's been displaying all game, he's able to get out alive.
I hate to point it out, but I'm pretty sure Deli did have Gale Force for that one to dodge the dredge line, but it found him anyway.
So we're seeing that even though Damon Gaming has almost a 3,000 gold lead at this point, that Wind Diesel is actually just outplaying them in some of the smaller skirmishes, and it's got to be a bit concerning, right? Because Damon's finding their angle, sure, but if they keep giving Wind Diesel smaller avenues back into the game, especially around critical objective times, they can find themselves staring down the barrel of an Ocean Soul 5 melee team.
Oh, Togman will find Chris Dragonfist here with the Fear. Pulverized combo comes out into the Blades Reach knockup. Chris Dragonfist finds a huge ultimate on the 3. Mooseman follows up with Blast Breath, and the Baby Cage will try to keep the Kane alive for a bit longer. Ultimate does find the Mooseman, but he will go down to Mr. Sumo Monkey. Oh, Baby Cage finds none, and Real Zilla guy again with the dredge line onto Deli. Gale Force comes out, and he will take down Mr. Sumo Monkey with the 4th shot. Real Zilla guy trying to take down Deli, but ultimate comes out, but won't find him.
An absolute mess of a team fight that initially looks good for Damon Gaming, then Wind Diesel accurately counter engages, and then Damon Gaming are able to find themselves at an easier position after the initial turnaround.
Deli here needs to be very careful. Although he does have flash and heal backup, I don't know what that can do against a Zed as good as this one. Like, you know, it's not it's not that hard to tie to a Zed.
So I think now again we're seeing the teams move back towards the bottom side. They're looking for this next dragon. Again, Damon Gaming needs to clear out some of this vision. When Diesel sneaking wards in that are giving them crucial vision to take these sort of fights.
But they do spot Chris Dragfist in the back of the pit alone, but it will be Wind Diesel that gets your first transline onto Togman. But he uses infinite duress to get himself out of there. And it looks like
it's somehow Wind Diesel's first dragon. I mean, Damon Gaming had the inside track, but I don't know what stalled them. They seem to have been stalled in their own bot side jungle, and now
looks like Comfortable Land won't find the combo. Good flash.
I actually think Wind Diesel might have been able to counter engage with Nautilus, but
Yeah, for sure. I just guess that, you know, the Chikadoke thought that his own blue buff was more important than the dragon. You know, all respect to junglers, you know what you're doing, but do you really know what you're doing?
At this point, the gold lead is becoming slightly less important because somehow Wind Diesel finding themselves in this position to secure objectives that they have no right to.
Okay, yeah, you know what? No filter at this point. That was just straight up trolling. They had complete control of the river entrances, and then they just all back up and 5-man the blue buff, and then give complete river control over to Wind Diesel so they could secure the dragon. Chris Dragonfist was literally in the back of the dragon pit alone for like at least a solid 15 seconds before they turned around to do anything, and by that point, Wind Diesel have already waltzed in!
And right now, that actually spells out something very scary for Damon Gaming, despite the gold lead, despite the tower lead, despite the kill lead. That's Ocean Soul. And Ocean Soul provides a lot in terms of combat power, especially when you have a 5-man diving composition that needs to survive a Vygar and a Kayn and a Jhin who will try and kill you as soon as you try and jump them. So
You are goddamn right about that. How do you beat a full melee comp? You poke them down, but how are you gonna poke down a melee comp with Ocean Soul? That is not how it works!
So right now, I think what Damon Gaming needs to do is they need to make sure that their vision is. They need to make sure that they're playing for pockets of vision that they need. As right now, Chris Dragonfist gets engaged on again.
He will expend Flash here to make his way out, but the curtain call will come out from Delhi, but won't find any as Real Zilla guy is too thick to take any damage.
The Infinite Duress used a little bit late there, I think, as Demon Gaming actually prospering towards the Baron.
Right.
And looks like they will start
starting it up. Mooseman on his walk back up. It's a bit late, and also
this is int, by the way.
This is definitely int. Deathmark onto Delhi, but Jorlax will go down in the middle of 3. Mr. Sumo Monkey and Real Zilla guy trying to buy time for Chris, but it looks like it will just be a death ball. Togman walking over everyone, but Mooseman and Chris will find a huge ultimate onto 3. And it will look like they take the win as Mr. Sumo Monkey brings the Chicken Hawk into the Death Realm to finish him off. And
it's a triple kill for the Moose Man.
Like
and now they're starting Baron. I have no idea what Damon was thinking. I mean, maybe they were feeling pressured by the fact that they were losing all their dragons, but honestly, there was no reason to commit to that fight, especially when you have your Vygar in bot lane, no teleport, no way to help you, and no way to join this fight, and I'll be Baron secured for Damon Gaming. Or sorry,
also,
for Wind Diesel.
I need to point this out. I have to point this out. For Damon Gaming's composition, it is not fast at taking objectives at all. Sure, they have like the Warwick, but that is like about it. Jhin does objectives and towers so goddamn slowly. There is no way that starting that was a good idea at all. Perhaps you could you could bait it, but you don't need to start it. You just need to deny vision and make them think you're doing it. You could just stack 4 in the pit and deny the vision. You don't need to start hitting the damn thing and then get Zen ulted.
Looks like Damon Gaming was pretty content to burger flip the whole game on that one objective where they had absolutely no need to flip anything. All they had to do was keep waiting, keep scaling, get some more items, as Chris Dragonfist disconnects again, and disconnects and reconnects again. They just needed some time to get some items and to fight the next dragon and to be there this time. You don't need to flip an objective that if you use it, you might as well just use the game.
I do find it kind of strange, though, that Mr. Sumo Monkey is positioning with this team when he could be in a side lane with TP here, because they are drawing Togman in. It is an opportunity to create some extra pressure on the map with the TP advantage, which, of course, Damon Gaming gave up in the draft. Will be funneling through a choke point versus this composition, which is not good. Comfortable land. We'll find the pulverize combo on Mr. Sumo Monkey, but he's a tank. Stun gets there too, but will just be some poke damage. Togman onto the Yasuo in the backline. Ulti comes through, finds 3 again, but there will be no last breath to follow up this time, and looks like they will take down Deli and the ball lane immediately. The Sumo Monkey finds another ultimate. I can't really tell what's going on here. There's a lot of crap going on. Looks like the Zed will finish off the kid. It's like it's another raw light ace for the side of Wind Diesel.
I don't know what I'm watching here, Chen. I don't know what I'm watching.
Okay, well, since we have no replay, I'll go back on what I have in memory, right? So, more or less, Togman pulls the trigger early again and jumps the Yasuo with infinite duress, but Yasuo's tanky enough, he has shield though, and there is no follow-up because he jumped the backline alone. In response, Real Zillaguy finds a beautiful depth charge onto 3 members, including the backline of Damon Gaming. This, of course, you know, the Yasuo can't follow up on, he's being suppressed, but, of course, Chris Dragonfist here, beautiful ultimate follow-up onto that depth charge, finds the 3 knocked up from Real Zillaguy, and of course that goes into a combo, and then, you know, Mr. Sumo Monkey kind of just walks in and hits everyone with the Q, and of course AoE magic damage, kills everyone, and he presses R on someone and they die. And then from that point, the fight is so dispersed. Of course, after the depth charge from Real Zillaguy, you know, in turn 2v1 with the Yasuo onto Togman. Togman goes down, he's picked, and then, you know, the rest of the fight is so dispersed. Jorolax onto the Kane, Chicken OK goes down, and of course, Deli's already dead as soon as like the depth charge lands, because that's AD carry. So yeah, Turtle Tunes is left there in the Mordalt with his tail between his legs, and dies because it's a Mordekaiser. And that's my analysis of the fight.
And you know, I hate to be hasty and sound defeatist, but this game is looking mighty over. Because that's Ocean Soul, and if I'm playing Jin here, I'm very sad. I'm very, very, very sad, because this isn't like as Togman gets engaged on mid.
But will he get out just fine? No, Jorolax actually has the damage because he only has Bramble Vesta's armor. The barrier comes out, not sure what that will do. They actually almost turn on Jorolax, but the Ocean Soul will keep him ticking. Real Zillaguy getting counter-engaged on, but Chris Dragonfist here with beautiful ultimate will find both of them. Chicken OK uses his Kane ult to finish off the Real Zillaguy. And of course, Chris Dragonfist here with the late Zhonya's will go down. Well-timed Q.
In the end, it's a 1-for-2 trade in favor of Damon Gaming, somehow. I'm kind of unclear, as Mooseman16 is now getting on.
Right, he is caught out by the Blade's reach, and the Gale Force there from Deli will catch him out. Did he wind wall? Did he wind wall already? He could have at least prevented that part, right?
I think he got CC too fast.
No, but after he was walking away, right? Like, he could have just dropped the wind wall and kept front running. You know what? I'll pretend I didn't see that. You know. Moving on.
Anyway, like I was hopefully saying that the game was close to over, and then Damon Gaming find a few quick picks that shouldn't have been possible, as Turtle Kings is now engaged on by Jorolax.
Right, of course, being pushed up as an immobile mage. Oh, find the beautiful Everfrost, but it's meaningless. He's too ahead at this point, but
yeah, that's Collector. That's
also
Collector with a bunch of other lethality.
Also a bit awkward how he's completely pushed up with zero vision in the bot side jungle, and also not leaving when he sees that Zed is no longer mid. Interesting macro choice coming out of Turtle Tunes there, but we can ignore that for now. As Baron is coming up again, this is Wind Diesel's chance to lock out this game.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of expect Vin Diesel I actually, weirdly enough, Vin Diesel's Baron is actually better than Damon's Gaming, so they are more in a position, especially with Control, to start it and then bait a fight, as Togman has to use the Infinite Duress to get out, but he's kind of...
Yeah. He definitely used it a bit too early there. He didn't even wait for the dredge line or for the depth charge. He used it preemptively. He could have at least used the unstoppable of that ultimate to at least deny one CC from the Nautilus kit, but he chooses none.
And it looks like this will be Vin Diesel's Baron. I mean, I imagine that they're just gonna, like, Damon Gaming is just gonna try and flip it. You're a 4v5.
Well, they sort of have to almost at this point. Just look for a steal with the Rost, who has easy access over the wall, forward and backwards. But we will wait and see. Of course, the Baron is now blind to the side of Damon Gaming. Looks like, wow, this is crazy, but it looks like Vin Diesel's actually baiting Baron correctly. That's insane.
I think Damon Gaming is actually super content to not face check the Baron at all and just get priority on the mid wave instead of looking for the Baron at all. But they don't actually know
now
that
they are flanked. Deli, instant death mark from Jorlax onto him. He goes down instantly. Chris Dragonfist finds him uncomfortable and has to blow the Unbreakable one and goes down anyway. Alistar ult is meaningless there. Takes too much damage from a death ball of 4. And of course, Mr. Sumo Monkey zoning off the rest of Damon Gaming single-handedly.
That was actually the reverse 4D chess move, right? When Diesel's like, we're not going to start the game. We're going to wait for them to come to us. And then Damon Gaming said, we're not going to come to you. We're going to push mid instead. And then what ends up happening is because they push mid and they don't push check the Baron. Oh, and the steal does not come in.
Chicken okay over the wall to Mr. Sumo Monkey. Won't be able to fall up in the Death Realm. Jorlax is a bit overextended, but not really because he's Zed. No kill though onto the Vigor, but he does blow barrier.
Damon Gaming was completely content to give up the Baron to push mid, but because Vin Diesel hadn't actually started the Baron, they had easy options to rotate, find a couple clean picks, and then they moved over to the Baron, took it, and now they're going to take the Elder Dragon as well.
I actually like the decision making there of Damon Gaming going for the mid wave, because even if they contest, I don't even think they win, and I'm pretty sure they know that. So I think going for the mid wave was very smart there. However, mid was probably the wrong lane to push. Real Zilla guy here is caught out, and so is Jorlax. Will go down. Won't get the benefits of the Elder Drake, but huge ultimate from Chris Dragonfist, and Mooseman will find 3, and that is an easy triple kill going the way of Vin Diesel, adding fuel to the fire.
And they will now march down mid and take their win over Damon Gaming.
Deli kind of playing on a knife's edge here, playing with fire. That's an interesting one. Well, looks like this will just be the inhibitor coming out as Deli and Chicken OK can only hope. Oh, flash! And the depth charge and Dredgeline will both find Deli. He goes down. This could be the end of the game. Chicken OK trying to buy as much time as he can with the ultimate, but... Oh! Wait, he doesn't go down to the execute because he got Death Realm, so there's no way the Elder Drake could find him. But Mr. Sumo Monkey was not the last one who damaged him, and he didn't damage him at all. So the Elder Dragon isn't actually ticking on him from Mr. Sumo Monkey. So the ultimate, I mean, the Elder Drake can't execute him in the Death Realm, so he actually buys more time by being ulted. Kind of a bit of a misplay, but you know, it is what it is. Mr. Sumo Monkey will still just kind of end the game. Finds a beautiful pull onto Turtle Tunes, gets stunned up, but it probably won't matter. This game is over. Real Zilla guy waiting for the hook. And it looks like this Dragon Fist will instead go down. Oh, this is not a KD player, I guess, but it is what it is. That'll be. Welcome back to the Desjardins Analyst Desk. I am your co-host Chandog, and this is. I need to point this way, right? This way.
Yeah, this is Snowmobile Seal after that absolutely banger game that we just saw between Vin Diesel and Damon Gaming, ultimately coming out Vin Diesel's win. Uh, okay, let's break it down. What happened, and how did Vin Diesel come out with a victory with basically a very similar draft to day one? Another 5 melee comp that they were actually able to have work this time.
Well, okay. I think first off is definitely positioning, right? And most importantly, priority and vision control. Because all the objective fights, they definitely had like Damon Gaming funneling in through the choke points at the river. They always had priority because for some reason Damon Gaming would give it up and go do blue buff or something. But yeah, they would walk out of the river and then of course they'd have to funnel in back to the choke point, which is a perfect angle for Chris Dragonfist to of course line up another beautiful Diana ultimate, followed up of course by Moose Man's ultimate, and then they get their combo off. They do what they do what their team's meant to do. But of course they didn't get that chance with Win 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 in game one because Win 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 probably played the fights and the lanes better because they constantly used their priority and their strong, hard, fast clearing jungle in Shaw's Udyr to secure the river priority and of course the lane priorities to be able to make it to these fights so they don't have to funnel in. They're funneling in Win Diesel. But of course Damon Gaming gave up all these core parts of the map in order to, I don't know, do their jungle or something. So of course when they funnel back in, it's a perfect opportunity for Win Diesel to just secure the team fight easily, and then there's no response.
So it was mostly down to execution, is what you're saying.
I'd like to think that is what, yeah, of course, made Win Diesel's comp work this time as compared to the previous time. And also, I'd like to point out that it probably was not the best draft to take two immobile, squishy backline as primary damage versus a full melee dive composition. I do believe if Delhi picked Zio there, which was not banned, probably would have turned out a lot better because you could just press R in response to the Diana that is flying towards you at Mach 5, and you can just avoid the entire engage and the Yasuo ults, because if the key ability lands, you're definitely dead. So if you can avoid the key ability with some sort of counterplay, Gale Force probably wasn't enough on the Jhin. You know, you can survive the team fight and at least have a chance to turn it.
Right. So that was our first game of the day. So now let's get into game two, Far Spinning Games versus Meet the Coomers. Break it down for me. What are we looking at here?
Well, we haven't actually seen BSG play, so hopefully they'll be punctual this time and also punctual to the objectives this game, unlike the previous one that Damon had. Their opponents, Meet the Coomers, strong opponents as we've seen previously, very strong bot and mid carries. So it's important to see how they play around those. They have perhaps a weaker top side, so it'll be interesting to see how they take advantage of that, as BSG will likely be sending their captain there. Let's see how they play through the top side of the map versus the bot side, and let's see some interesting Rift Herald Dragon trades, and see how they macro it out.
So each team seemingly has cross map priorities, right? Meet the Coomers have shown actually so far in the league that they are a much more strong bot side focused team than they are top side. And what we know of BSG from their players rather than seeing them play is that there's seemingly a more topside focus that we're at least hoping to see. And I do want to see like laners working in conjunction with their junglers. I think that's something that we haven't really seen so far. We haven't really seen supports moving with their junglers. We haven't really seen laners finding avenues to ward raptors, move with their junglers to invade. I think if we can keep seeing that, that's actually a really easy way to pick up small advantages that can accrue into larger leads at the big objective.
Right. Also, it's probably important to note that the bot side for Meet the Coomers is also like sort of the fuse for the bomb that is their team. Their mid lane, of course, usually ends up being their scaling insurance pick. So having their bot lane be the explosive carries is kind of what they have been looking to do. So it'll be interesting to see if BSG decides to take the Samira for themselves for Tonin, or if they will just straight up ban it out here, because they will have to try and suppress that bot lane. That is probably the most important win condition for BSG is to make sure that the fuse in the bot lane for Meet the Coomers is not lit this entire game. You gotta just keep on putting it out.
I think Meet the Coomers, conversely, they should be a little afraid of how the top side of the map for bar spinning games could take over the game, right?
For
Um,
sure.
we've seen in a league veteran in Juno how incredibly well he can play when he's got a lead in the jungle. So I also want Meet the Coomers to exercise some restraint, right? If you have a strong bot side, if you have a strong bot lane, then you need to be able to know when you have to give up farm, when you have to see pressure if Juno's on that side of the map, or else the bomb will end up exploding up in their own faces.
Right, of course. Yeah, the situation is sort of a reverse for Meet the Coomers on the top side of the map, especially with Juno being very, very good at proactive jungle picks with her high early damage. So love to see how that'll play out. Also, it looks like we are out of time. We'll be on the break now. We will see you guys soon back in Champ Select. Right, back on the draft here. Looks like, again, another clone, Win Diesel versus Damon Gaming. Game 1 for some reason. Why are we doing this again? The actual teams are Barspitter Gaming on the blue side. Yeah, there we go. And Meet the Cougars on the red. Looks like the Vlad ban will be coming out of BSG here. Very smart.
I immediately like Varsity Gaming's strategy here by taking out the Vlad.
Switch it back. You're on the game screen. The next ban is Yasuo, by the way, coming out of Meet the Cougars.
They're hovering the Yasuo ban on the side of Meet the Cougars. But yeah, very smart ban in the Vlad. Take out one of Johnson V2's signature champions, and what he absolutely dominated the first game with.
Right, and of course, if for some random reason it needs to be flexed down to the bot lane, Big Bosk is also there with it, as that was one of his primary picks when he was a mid laner in Season 1.
And it looks like it will be the Yasuo ban from Meet the Cougars.
Right, I don't see the value of this, but perhaps in the mid lane with Mark there, you know, Yasuo is one of his primary champions, so of course banning him out probably is good. Oh yeah, right, it's not, right. Okay, looks like a Samira ban may come through, but for some reason it's a blank thing, but we're gonna just assume it's Samira because Big Boss has been looking very, very clean on that pick. And of course, Morgana ban is going to come out in response because Juno...
First guy to ever play Morgana jungle, by the way.
Right. Self-proclaimed Morgana pioneer here with the pick, although it has been nerfed, what is it, like 155% damage to monsters now?
It was nerfed like 30% damage.
Yeah. It went from like 200 to 170 to like probably now like 155 or something. But it will be the Amumu ban coming out of Barspitter Gaming here, targeting Admiral Bishop in the jungle, but he's probably going to fall back to Sejuani or something. We'll wait and see.
So knowing Barspitter Games, knowing that the Sejuani should be the jungle pick coming out, should think to already start to pick around it, right? Like Admiral Bishop doesn't really have that deep of a champion pool in the jungle, so they should already know and have something prepped as their response.
Right, of course. Outside of the Sejuani, there is the Warwick, and I can't think of much else. Perhaps the Rammus, but and maybe Nunu, but outside of those, I'm not sure what else they have. And of course, the Leona ban coming out of Meet the Cougars here, targeting, of course, Secret Age 001.
And we are no sinners in this draft. It's the first pick gangplank for Barspitter Games.
All right, love to see that pick up in the top lane, the scaling strength for Pyro, but on the condition that it can be counterpicked, it is a bit dangerous. Looks like Nautilus will be locked in though for Meet the Cougars in the bot lane, and Kaisa, so the combo, the bot lane combo, the infamous bot lane combo is locked in for Meet the Cougars.
Smart for Meet the Cougars to cover their Nautilus pick with the Leona ban, so that there can be no lane counters. I'm interested to see what Barspitter Games can do. They can just lock up their ball lane in this rotation after Meet the Cougars is shown, and they can already get the counter picks that they want.
Right, of course, Misfortune coming through here. A comfort pick for Tonin in the bot lane, and we'll wait to see the next pick. It will be the defensive Braum pick to try to peel off the Kaisa and the Nautilus for the Misfortune. That's an interesting counter pick here. I'm not sure how well it will go, though.
I think now, okay, so what I was going to say is that Barspitter Games should now look to completely ban out one of Meet the Cougars' champion pool. If Meet the Cougars prioritize their top lane pick at the end of their first rotation, you can keep diluting Admiral Bishop's champion pool. Conversely, if they had decided to pick their jungler here, you could then pitch top lane picks to give Pyro an easier top lane, because if you can free up this GP as much as possible so that he can sit there and farm, he's a good enough GP player that he'll then just end up winning.
Right, of course. And the Yone ban will come out because he is pretty similar-ish in style to Yasuo, sort of, in terms of, I guess, his Q and his auto-attacking and part of his build. So, you know, that will, of course, tip off their mid laner a bit here in Hasaki.
Barspitter Games correctly identifying this one ban I expect to see one more jungle ban coming out from Barstool Games. They want to try and pinch as much as possible because really doesn't play any of these tank jungles. So he'll want to play something very oriented, and Meet the Boomers correctly identify that and go with Dealey's pick.
Right. So they split the bans here, one mid, one jungle. Not quite what we discussed, but it's close. And of course, it will be the coveted Rammus ban coming out of BSG here. Looks
so
like
we are expecting Meet the Coomers to pick up Warwick, we would think, for Admiral Bishop. And in that case, Juno should have a pick prepared into it, or something that can at least match it pretty well. We're looking for maybe a little bit of AP damage, unless they want to leave that all to the mid lane.
Of course, the Udyr is picked for Admiral Bishop for Meet the Coomers.
Important to note that Meet the Coomers have actually banned a pretty good Udyr counter early on in the draft in the Morgana. The Morgana is a powerful speeder, able to match clear speeds with the and also have black shields. So I'm interested to see what the pick is. It looks like it's going to be Kayn.
All right.
I have mixed feelings about this.
I don't
pick.
think Kayn wins at all, but it is Juno on it, so respect to his season 1 performance.
It is a legacy champion for him. But I mean, there's a lot of easy CC on the side of Meet the Coomers, and Kayn doesn't like having a lot of easy CC. It looks like the last pick will be Echo on the side of Bar Spitting Games.
Right. That will be their sole source of magic damage, unless for some reason that Gangplank builds a Morellos. I'm not a Morellos, the Leandries. I keep on getting those mixed up from back in the day. It's so painful.
Looks like Meet the Coomers will have a mid lane counter pick.
What will it be?
Looks like it's going to be the safe Orianna pick.
Yep, the scaling insurance.
So overall, I think I definitely favor the Coomers draft.
Yeah, for sure. I agree
standard
with you.
Very easy to execute. You have Nautilus, Malphite, Go buttons. You have Orianna. Meanwhile, Bar Spitting Games, they're going to have to sort of split up Meet the Coomers across the map. You want to have probably GP in a side lane. But even then, Malphite is incredibly good at attacking GP in the side lane with some help, obviously. But it sort of leaves top lane as a vulnerability. And the Echo, again, another melee champion with the rewind. It also makes him vulnerable to snap engagements.
Right. It does, to some extent, feel like that, Bar Spitting Gaming definitely has a more, I'd say, more skirmishy mobile comp, I would say, in terms of positioning well, but on the other hand, Meet the Coomers here, they definitely have a well-defined goal of just a front-to-back, straight engage, and to, straight up just crush the backline of Bar Spitting Gaming with the depth charge, killer instinct combo from the bot lane.
Yeah, ease of execution here is always really important in our league. I mean, if you have a very easy to execute team comp with very easy go buttons, you'll find whatever fights you want. Conversely, Bar Spitting Games need to pick their moments very well, right? Braum, his snap engages are a little bit harder to execute than Nautilus. Echo's CC is a lot harder to land than an Orianna who's got setup on her team, right? Misfortune, an AD carry who's got to stand still to do a big bulk of damage versus a Kaisa and Malphite. So BSG has to execute essentially picture perfect if they want this to go well.
Right, or they need their top lane or mid lane to just completely lane Kingdom the entire game and just play off of them. On the other hand, though, Meet the Coomers, actually all 4 members that aren't mid can carry the ball into a fight. Pretty well, actually.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot of agency on Johnson Bud V2 to find the important shockwaves in these fights, and it's going to be about taking good fights on side of Meet the Coomers, right? It's going to be about taking proper fights. It's going to be about taking probably 5v4s or even 5v3s, because in the 5v5s you win, of course, but if you can find those odd man fights, you gain even bigger advantages that way.
Right, of course. I think it's also important to note, though, the composition of both. It appears that, Bar Spitting Gaming has 2 frontline members with 4 damage threats, and Meet the Coomers, of course, is 3 frontline members, 2 damage threats. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play out their fights in that respect, because of course, Meet the Coomers has less supporting pillars in terms of damage.
We'll have to see how the skirmishes end up playing out. And again, a really big factor that will be the vision game, right? If Barspin Games can choose their moments to fight, they're gonna need vision pockets, right? They're gonna need places to actually pick those fights. And conversely, Meet the Coomers is gonna have to know when to back off of fights and when to give ground to Barspin Games in order to pick more favorable fights.
Right. So that's going to be interesting to see the Braum Kane invades perhaps to secure that very, very important vision control in those areas for those skirmishes before the objective fight begins. Alright, I think we'd probably want to take it to a break now. Discussed all the important aspects of the draft here. Yeah, we will see you when we're back on the Rift. black mark. We can't see anything. All right, and we are back on the Riv for Game 2 of Day 3 of the SMLCS. Both teams look to be setting up. Looks like BSG will all be funneling themselves into the top side of the map, as their opponents and Meet the Coomers will fan out into the typical 5-point start. Looks like they will all stack in the pixel bush for some reason.
Looks like they're trying to catch Admiral Bishop.
Admiral Bishop is caught by the Braum Q.
Someone's
hit,
got a flash.
2-hit flash. Admiral Bishop gets himself out, trades flashes with Secret Age 001.
It's a good start there for bar spinning games to alleviate some of the pressure that you can give in the early game that Kane can't. So good call from bar spinning games to go for this early game build. There's no punish that can be had, so getting that flash is relatively free. Important to note, this is going to be a bit of a difficult game for burst fitting, as we're sort of talking about here. The Malphite pick has a lot of value in the top jungle 2v2, given that he will eventually just be unkillable. And that the only person realistically who can kill him without massive amounts of gold influx should be BSG's mid laner.
Right, and it looks like it will be a leashless start for BSG, and of course standard blue side leash for MTC.
Yeah, so seeing the leashless,
oh, dredge line found onto the Braum from DVD, but nothing will happen.
So seeing the double leashless start here, the Humor should have a good enough idea that the Kane started Raptors and is going to be clearing that pathway instead. As the bar spin games were having a little bit of the early advantage in the bot side.
Right, it looks like it will be BSG here, losing the push the last moment. I don't know, but they do hit level 2. Where DVD is stunned up here by the Braum passive. He has flash, but he re-engages with the dredge line onto Tonin. Looks like a minor trade will happen, but not much to result from it. No sums really blown from either side.
Important to note that because Secret Age 001 didn't have Ignite, they couldn't go for the kill onto DVD World Peace, so they just have to let him go with the massive chunk.
Right, that is true. We will wait and see how the jungle plays out, as Pyro does have the push in the top lane. Huge wave about to hit the turret here. He just looks to take the cheater recall, perhaps a Doran's Blade or something, when he gets back. The longsword.
This is pretty... It will be longsword pin cord buy for Pyro on this cheater. And sort of this is pretty easy to see how the lane is going to go, right? You should have a relatively easy time to push out Malphite in the 1v1. But Malphite's pretty happy with that nonetheless. I mean, like Malphite's whole goal in this lane is to just sit around and scale. And then eventually GP shouldn't be able to kill him without a huge influx of gold.
Right, it looks like Johnson V2 will be getting ganked here, but Admiral Bishop is close by. Although he finds a stun here onto the Kane. Juno trying to make for his life now. Admiral Bishop has to follow, but has no flash. Looks like he will get the flash from the Echo as well. Huge win here for the side of MTC.
Really good counter gank for Admiral Bishop. Just be there to cover for his mid. And so instead of Johnson V2 having to blow his flash, instead First Games having to blow 2 flashes of their own.
Oh, a hook from DVD does find Tonin, but of course Big Shield comes up, won't find anything. Reverse this trade with the stun onto DVD. Tonin flashes forward, but won't find much. Blows the heal too. Big Bosk now kind of isolated in the fight, but he will make his way out, and it will be the kill going over to Secret Age 001. Follow-up gank from the Kane will find the other kill, but it is important to note that Big Bosk does trade kill Tonin here, and does not expend any summoners.
Yeah, so a bit of action going in the bot lane. Mostly the benefactors of that were Juno and Big Boss, especially given that, again, he didn't need to expend anything for that. We do see a late invade to secure the boss side grump for Juno.
will get spotted out here though by Big Boss. Not much will happen. He'll just take his leave.
We'll note that during all that action, there was a sort of failed engage topside, where Pyro didn't have to blow any sort of summoners, but was chunked out pretty hard.
Right. Well, it looks like both teams may start playing around the Drake, which will soon be up. We will see. Pryo in mid currently goes the way of Hasuki. He chunked out Johnson but V2. Now has to take a base, teleport back. Teleport advantage now goes over to Hasuki. We will see how this plays out. Admiral Bishop waiting in the flanks on his Raptors.
Yeah, so blowing the early teleport just to sort of alleviate some of the pressure. The very quick trades going in the favor of Echo in the mid lane, as we just see again. Just some wave bouncing back and forth after that short spurt of action.
Right, Hasuki is the one getting ganked here. Flash stun into the shockwave onto Hasuki. He finds the beautiful chrono shift back in. Johnson but V2 taken very low. Admiral Bishop finds himself in the middle of 4 and will go down.
Very quick response from Barspin Games. The ball lane was already on the rotate for a potential mid lane play. Also important to note, Admiral Bishop is down a level currently on Juno, and definitely did not have the same kind of combat that Juno had in that skirmish.
There will be a little skirmish here though. Secret Age 001 taken very low. Hasuki trying to zone here. Big Boss and DVD will likely just back off and hand over this first dragon. Going the way of BSG.
So BSG playing towards their win conditions like we were talking about in Champion Select. They are looking for these little skirmishes where they can have man advantages because, again, in front-to-back team fighting in very controlled settings, the Boomers will always have the advantage.
Wait, hold on. Echo ult is Chrono Shift or Chrono Break? The other one's Zillion ult, right?
Yes, but I don't know which one it is.
You know, I think it's Chrono Break. Chrono Shift sounds
Some
like
analyst
the
I
Zillion
am.
one, so I
It's
said the
Chrono
wrong
Break.
one, I think.
It's Chrono Break.
Yeah, okay, it's Chrono Break. It's Chrono Break, so I said the wrong one. Oh, well, either way, it saved his life in that one and it dealt a ton of damage, so you know what? It's close enough.
Also seems that Ichikaro didn't lose a whole lot in the end. I mean, did expend both ulti and T, but in the end the wave just ends up coming back to him, eventually making its way back to him anyway, and with his T, he can just kind of hold this here for...
Right, it will be Scuttle in the top side going the way of MTC. But, you know, their jungler was never there to contest in the first place because Juno's bottom! And DVD is caught out once more. And he will go down. Trade kill doesn't come through for Boss. He's getting red buff autoed. He can't escape. Ulti comes through with the flash. Big Boss perhaps misplaying that a bit. While flashing with the cane inside him, he will go down to the Umbral Trespass and auto.
Really well done there from Juno to find this very nice timing. I would like to see Admiral Bishop try and get something on the other side of the map. You know, maybe now is the time to go for a Herald take, given that your bot lane was just absolutely decimated. He especially sees him on this ping, so now this is definitely the timing for it.
Yeah, looks like he's going for a well-made call. Yoshiasuke getting Shockwave here, has to expend Chrono Break, ult for ult in the mid lane. Although the push has looked like it's gone over to Johnson but V2 here, so you can just wait calmly for the wave to come back. BSG Pyro moving in onto the Herald will find Admiral Bishop. Admiral Bishop here looking for the bear form to chase him down. He is caught in a hard place because... Oh, he will just blow flash and make it out. And the Herald resets. Good on him.
I honestly think... Oh, and we're actually seeing the support rotate for the Heralds, eliminating carries alone on the island for this 9.5 minute skirmish.
Right, I do believe Kaisa wins out the 1v1 between the two, so we should be careful, but it is important to note that Tonin does have summoners, so it may be more favored towards BSG in the bot lane here, as looks like both teams will just give up Herald anyway as BSG takes vision control of the topside river.
I think better for BSG in the long run. They weren't there for
Oh,
the
Secret
initial...
Age 001 will catch out Big Boss here with the stun. Oh, but he's alone. Tonin is walking the long way around instead of through Tribush, and it will be Secret Age 001 who's caught out when the Nautilus returns to his post. That was a bit of a misplay there from the bot lane of BSG, walking the long way around, looking perhaps a flank, but he is not winning that, especially when it's a 2v1 isolated for a few seconds. And it will be a counter gank here from Juno, stopping Admiral Bishop in his tracks. Sasaki maybe looking for another engage, but won't find anything. So a bit of a misplay there, though, from Tonin walking the long way, costing his support his life there. That's unfortunate. They will probably bot review that one. Looks like the bot lane, though, is moving up for a gank here for the side of MTC.
It's like this time they want to get everyone in on this hero play.
Praise Seeker will find Husky, but Big Boss has no killer instinct, so he gets to walk away with only a scratch and 2 plasma stacks on him.
And this gives Commerce gives Barcelona Games time to push in this wave and potentially go for a plate on the bot side.
Right, it looks like Secret Age 001 will kind of just do a little pressuring here, as Big Boss does have to walk all the way down. It's only DVD watching the wave. I'm still waiting to see more roams from this Echo, though, on Husky. You know, he has the push a lot of the times. He could just leave. He is Echo. He's good at ganking.
And he does have the ability to actually do damage to the Malphite in the top side if he wants to try and get the GP ahead and some more breathing room.
Right, although that may not necessarily be 100% true, though, as this Malphite decided to build an Aegis first, which does actually give him some magic resist, as opposed to the first item Bramble, which is so common these days in the top lane.
It's like Ortiz just willing to start maybe skirmishing over some vision as Juno goes in.
Right. Oh, DVD Ropey's flash off the wall will find Tonin. Beautiful shockwave follow-up and depth charge. And Tonin goes down. Main damage source gone. Huski's the only one left there with the damage. Juno kind of just tanking a lot. Gets the knock from Johnson V2, but it does not matter. Husky with the beautiful chrono break will find some damage, but won't find many. BSG, Pyro coming with the TP, trying to fight 2v1, but Elongated Girth follows as well with his own TP. And this fight will go to the side of Meet the Coomers here. And
Husky barely makes it out alive. And again, we're seeing what the teams are good at here in a very extended fight, in a even out fight. We see Meet the Coomers definitely have the advantage, especially with that absolutely psycho engage from the World Peace that set up the beautiful shockwave and the flank from the Kaisu.
There wasn't very much that BSG Tonin could do about that at all, aside from perhaps being a psychic who could see into the future and know that DVD would do such an insane madman play of flashing over the wall without much vision and then instantly landing the dredge line onto him.
Actually, very well played there from DVD World Peace to set up the overall.
A bit of a gambler's play, but it worked out in his favor this time.
And that's has certainly evened things up, right? It's given the Kaisa enough gold to set up her early items. It's given the Malphite some time to get some more gold so that he can survive a bit easier in the top side. It's brought Admiral Bishop back into the game pretty much after not clearing any of his camps.
Although DVD will look like he's caught out here, stun comes through and looks like he will go down. Shockwave expended from Johnson, but will not save his teammate. The concussive blows there just kept him there for far too long.
Well, that's Caster Survivor. We've seen it. You praise him, and then he wins it down.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he all chat doing a little trolling right now like he did in the previous game, but you know, we will wait and see. Johnson, but V2 lined up in the parallel convergence here, but won't find anything. Husky, the expense ultimate for distance. Big Boss here will be stunned up by the concussive blows, but he dodges a good chunk of the bullet time and is able to walk out alive. He didn't expend flash either.
It was a good attempt nonetheless from Barson to try and set some cooldowns.
Right, he
from
was
Kai'Sa.
alone.
So force the man advantage and see if you can't chance yourself a kill. Worst case scenario, you only blow a minor cooldown, but best case scenario, you actually find a pick. So
Right. And he did get the killer instinct out of him, so that's the mana cooldown.
this looks like Barson Games is content to trade bot save pressure for securing the Herald. I think this Herald should probably be used more towards the mid lane. It's a general rule of thumb that, as we see an all-in mid.
Oh, DVD coming in again with the Dreadline, but it will fall short this time, but it doesn't matter. Solo kill to Johnson Bud.
That's a solo bolo in the mid lane for Johnson Bud. As I was saying before that, very well played solo kill. It's a general rule of thumb that if the enemy team has a control mage mid who can clear waves, you're going to probably want to use the Herald mid because you have a harder time otherwise trying to take it. Whereas, conversely, on the side of Barspin Games, you have a melee AP assassin, where you shouldn't exactly need extra help from the Herald to take the tower mid. So I would expect this to be used mid, however I wouldn't be surprised if it was used for either the side lanes to try and free up some of their team members.
Like, oh, Juno coming in for a gank here on the top line. Blades Reach will find Elongate Girth. He will get knocked up again. What is up with players splashing when Kane is off with them? It happened again.
That would have been absolutely crazy if he catch Kane.
Oh,
when
double
he was on his
knockup
way
from
out.
Juno here again. Shockwave onto Juno, but he will not walk out as the last auto from Johnson, but will find him.
Edging out barely there for the kill, but honestly, if Elongated Girth had waited maybe half a second on Juno to come out of his possession, a knockup from the ultimate actually would have caught him under tower and killed him, which would have been a very hilarious way to die. But
That would have been beautiful, but unfortunately he did ult a bit too early. He flash ulted away. Oh, DVD caught out here again. Will get stunned up by the concussive blows and the glacial fissure and has to expend flash. And the bullet time will just barely almost get him.
so completely contrary to what I've mentioned, which is happening, which is, seems to be a trend. Johnson Butt's roam to secure that kill onto Juno ends up with him losing first tower in the mid lane.
This is quite awkward. The control mage is more roaming pressure than the wave clearing mobile assassin who's meant literally to just push and roam. So this is a bit awkward. Secret Age again, caught by the Prey Seeker here. Bit out of position. Loose Might does come through. Flash commit from Admiral Bishop. Stun goes down. Big Boss is exhausted. And Secret Age will walk out here. The fight may turn. And the Kai'Sa is caught out between the rest of the team, and so does the Udyr go down. Elongate Girth running for his life here, has to expend Unstoppable Force to just run.
Important to note that Big Boska failed his flash over the wall. If he had managed to do that properly, he would have gotten out. Gosh, he would have been a lot closer to his tank. But he doesn't, and ends up with 2 clean kills for Bar Spinning Games and the third Dragon.
That was very well played by Bar Spitter Gaming.
Looks like both teams are actually just content to go back to their original lane assignments on Bar Spinning Games. They see no reason to get out of the matchups that they are currently in.
Contrary, though, to that, Meet the Coomers is putting their AD carry in the mid lane and their mage in the side lane. Their teleport solo laners in the side lane. That's relatively smart. Good job. Although neither of them have teleport right now, but
Looks like the Rift
Herald
Herald will be spawned balling to guarantee the balling tower given how low
Johnson
it is.
but V2 will get knocked up here by the Glacial Fissure. Juno waiting and misses the Blade's Reach, though no knockup will come through. It's important to note, though, that BSG also committed the Gangplank ult there, but unfortunately fell a bit short, didn't get much of a slow off on him.
Actually, pretty good heads up play from DP.
Oh, Admiral Bishop in with the chem tank and the stun on Husky, blows the chrono break early. He's still tanking tower though. Parallel convergence will come down with the shield. He lives through the ignite, and that is a failed dive from Meet the Coomers.
Okay, so I don't know what the hell that was, but the initial.
But...
Okay, this is.
Okay, BSG Juno getting caught out by the depth charge, but he will find the Umbro trespass. Any big boss can take him down. Blade's Reach knocks up Admiral Bishop, and he's going in for the kill. And a bit of follow from everyone else, but it will just be a 1-0.
Well, that started out great. If we had a replay, we'd show you, but the initial heads-up play there from Big Boss Police was actually really good. They see that their team is getting overloaded on the bottom side of the map, so they make the call to try and get the 2v1 kill on Husky in the mid lane, and they actually end up blowing the Echo's Flash, which is actually a really big cooldown.
Oh, Johnson but face checking a jungle with no vision and meets Juno. He'll get shockwave, but not much damage comes through. Admiral Bishop on the other side won't really find much either, but does protect his mid laner. Dredgeline falls short from DVD, won't happen near. And BSG has to keep perhaps a bit too pushed up.
So they end up blowing the Echo's Flash in the initial heads-up play, but then completely overcommitting by running in between two towers to try and get the dive, failing the dive, and then running it again and costing the Big Boss death. So I don't really know what the hell's going on.
If anything as well, though, they definitely should have let DVD tank, but Hasuki will get caught by the dredge line here. Not much will happen. Concussive blows from Secret Age will not be applied to Big Boss. TP commit comes through for Johnson, but V2, they might look for an engage here, but just command attack and command, no, not even a dissonance, just a command attack, I guess. Well, not much will happen. I guess we are A-ramming now, or nay-ramming per se. We are in North America.
Yeah, I would really hope that Husky would go to catch him. He is down quite a bit of form, and Echo is a very big side lane threat should he start getting ahead. So right now I actually think that Elongated Earth is doing the correct play, just soaking up as much farm as he can to get as tanky as he can, because like I said, eventually we're going to get to a point where without significant time, no one on Barstool Games will be able to easily kill the Malphite.
That's true. Gangplank and Misfortune aren't very well known for being tank busters. They don't really have much in their kits to do so. They're just good at blowing up squishies.
It looks like Hasuki will be doing what we said, and he'll be heading to the side lane to pick up some soul lane XP against the Malphite.
Right, but it is important to note though that he will have teleport coming up soon, and it is actually synced with the Malphite for this drag play. He looks for an all-in but loses the trade anyway because the Malphite, he's Comet Malphite. He wins those.
Yeah, he's Malphite, so look at the next big play here to kind of break open the game with this next dragon. I feel like if Meet the Coomers are to win, they'll find a very strong foothold in this game, but if Barstool Games win, they should have a good lock on this game.
Right.
They'll be so far ahead that the sort of failures of their team comp will kind of be a advantage of their items / champions.
Oh, looks like it will be an early TP here from Elongated Girth. It also is important to note though that Hasuki is playing an XP deficit. He's level 12 to Johnson but V2's level 13, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well and how that affects the upcoming fights. That will be an early GP ultimate comes out. Dredgeline is found to Secret Age and depth charge onto Juno, but it will be too much to tank, and the bullet time will find the support. Gangplank will find the Oriana, and the Malphite too goes down quick to the Misfortune's early damage here, and it looks like Tonin will flash forward for the quadra kill, and that will be a Burlight Ace, and the Drake going to the side of BSG.
They should also have time to do the Baron if they so choose, and honestly, that's a really well-played team fight from Barstool Games. They find the correct angle, really great TPA angle actually from Hasuki to zone them off over the wall, and that inevitably means a quadra kill for BSG and 2 major objectives.
That was great to see Tonin there stepping up and having some great confidence there, flashing in, knowing he will definitely be able to secure those kills. That's what I like to see. Well, it looks like
There's no way Admiral Bishop can get to this pit, so this should be a relatively safe scooter and exit.
Right, Prey Seeker almost catches it, but falls short and hits Juno instead as it's already gone.
A 25-minute Baron for Varsity Games, and they have a lot of gold to spend after that play.
Right, this will be interesting to see how Meet the Kumas here play on the back foot of this game.
And predictably, it's a lot of armor penetration built on the side of Varsity Games. They understand that if they are going to try and break through this front line of Meet the Kumas, they're going to need the items to do.
Well said. As we can now see, looks like a Lord Dominix will soon be making their way onto the Gangplank and the Misfortune.
This Gangplank is disgustingly ahead, by the way, and it's going to be very hard for Big Boss and Johnson Bovey to do any kind of damage with the Gangplank around them.
Right, although the lane assignments again are a bit strange, I'd like to say, on the side of BSG. They're sending their AD bottom again and their mid laner top to join in the split push with the Gangplank. Although I don't think the Gangplank would really need it with Baron buff, and they're leaving the mid wave without a Baron buff, which is kind of strange, and they're grouping around Drag when they just took it. DVD looking to clear out some wards here, won't find any as BSG has too much pressure in the area.
See, they tried to start pushing the bottom lane and then they left the wave in a really awkward spot, so it's not going to sync up with any of the other side lane waves. So it's kind of just a lot of missed pressure and gold.
Right. Of course, BSG has an opportunity to take a 5v4 here in the mid lane as Elongated Girth is still not here. Looking to force an engage perhaps. Parallel Convergence comes out, will find none. Another turret taken on the side of the Baron power play.
Right now it becomes kind of hard for Meet the Kumas to look for their ideal engage, given that they are now so far behind, and that the champs that you were hoping to not get ahead on the side of Varsity Games, namely the GP and the MF, are now ahead. So
this is very awkward.
So now trying to walk through a ahead GP, no matter how tanky you are, is going to be very awkward.
Right. Also earlier, as you mentioned, after they cleared the mid wave and saw that there was nothing in the jungle on the red side, they could have just rotated bottom if they had pushed the wave earlier, as you'd mentioned. But now they're finally making their way here. Hasaki on to Johnson, but B2 will find the one shot. There is no response. Parallel Convergence keeps him stunned, and that will also be the turret taken by Hasaki in the bot lane.
Beautiful solo bolo there for Hasaki in the bottom lane, completely evaporating Johnson and really showing up this game. I have to say I'm impressed.
Right. Also, it's very important to note there that Johnson Bot V2 did go down to Parallel Convergence because Hasaki very smartly cast the Parallel Convergence while in the bush, hiding it from vision until the last moment, no opportunity to dodge it, and that was very well played.
Showing his proficiency on the Echo pick. And at this point, BSG don't need to try and force anything too scary, right? They can just keep pushing their ways. They can obtain the Mountain Soul, which at that point, Mountain Soul should be able to help absorb any sort of engage that Meteor will want, or at least any proper engage. And at that point, the game kind of just becomes a little bit too hard to play, especially as both Lord Dominics have now come in for the side of bar spinning games, meaning that they can now shred through the front line with relative ease.
Right, of course, they also get their full reset here, and the map for the side of MTC is actually looking very, very dark here. They only have like the 2 wards in their own jungle, watching the wolf camp and the bush by the Krugs. So they're going into this river here blind, although BSG is perhaps overexerting and overextending themselves here a bit, as Hasaki will be caught up, but he does find the Chrono Break, does some damage, but will definitely go down. That's an awkward place to be in the middle of 5 as the only person on the map in that area. Seems a bit late to the area, and they now might have to forfeit the soul.
Honestly, I still favor this 4v5. This oh my goodness.
Oh, Juno does come in. Dredgeline onto Juno from DVD.
Oh, what a
in
barrel
pit.
chain.
Beautiful Gore Drinker from Juno finds 2 and keeps himself alive for another QW. Kaisa onto the back line. Tonen flash heals and will end up killing him as his team is there to back him up, and the lock comes through for Secret Age.
Absolutely disgusting triple barrel combo, followed by MF ult, completely secure that team fight. And honestly, that should probably just do it.
Honestly, that was very awkward from Big Boss there as he expends his ultimate knowing he will probably die going all in on a dive like that. And Tonen expends both summoner spells, but Boss decides to hold on to them for tomorrow or something? If he's even... Are MTC playing tomorrow?
No, there are no games tomorrow, so he's not saving.
Oh, right, because it's class. Next day 4, let's say. But either way, he goes all in and commits no summoner spells.
I am impressed with the way that BSG managed to pilot around their substandard draft, as you say. And well, I mean, if they can win with this draft, I mean, honestly, they can win.
Right, and now it will be BSG's turn to stack the red team jungle. Or at least, well, the bot side of it, I guess. Admiral Bishop is going to grab his own.
And now they'll probably reset, move their vision towards the Baron side. Honestly, they can force the Baron if they want. They don't really need to... I mean, like, if they don't want to burger flip anything, they can just take it slow, bait the Baron, get a pick. But if they're willing to play a little bit riskier and fast, they can completely start the Baron.
Right.
Because, again, it is really hard to walk into them right now. Meet the Goomers, given how far ahead they are, so...
Of course, Meet the Goomers did have tempo and first move on this Baron as BSG was taking a reset, but, you know, they go clear waves instead. It is important to note, though, that there is a ward by the bot side inhibitor in the red side base here, and Pyro does still have teleport up, so if he wanted to, he could try for an RNG play on them.
I think right now they're actually just completely content with just kind of sitting here with the super minion waves piling into them. I mean, honestly, we can just start the Baron whenever after, because it's a little hard for Meet the Goomers to clear supers, so they just kind of get to do whatever they want.
Right, it looks like Secret Age now will be moving in to clear some of that vision as he finally spots the pink ward at the back of the Baron pit. So now, knowing why Meet the Goomers didn't just blindly stumble in to the Baron pit, it's now explained.
Pretty much all the vision has been cleared, so they're pretty much good to start the Baron whenever.
Right. They have complete control of the bot side of the map with super minion waves crashing for the next bit. Juno will find Blades of Reach onto Admiral Bishop here. Parallel Convergence comes through, finds no stun, he's too fast. Glacial Fissure will catch out DVD. Admiral Bishop and DVD both stoking quite a lot of the bullet time. Shockwave finds Tonen though. Big Boss is caught by the concussive blows, has to flash, and gets hit by the Blades Reach. And it looks like both sums are expended there, and he's still not enough, and he goes down. Admiral Bishop, Johnson Butt, and elongated Girth are all just going to have to turtle here, as it may be an end angle for BSG.
Really great GP ult and MF ult placement there to cut off and completely divide the people they're picking, and I guess they don't even need a Baron if they want to escape.
The towers are tanking double super minion waves here from the mid and bot lane, and you know, they don't have, side of Meet the Goomers don't have much wave clear on the map. Huge ultimate finds 3 and actually kills the Echo here from elongated Girth, but Johnspot V2 is exhausted, lots of damage here. Oh, but Tonen is kind of caught up in the middle of everyone. Yeah, good stopwatch, buys time, but his team has already decided to retreat. And it looks like Pyro will also be a bit late on the call, instead engaging to try to help his carry, and will go down here. Huge shutdown on a Big Boss, and this is an opportunity to turn the game around.
I guess, you know, Husky decided that he wanted to cosplay a very well-known professional player and not pressing his argument on
yes.
on Echo. Unfortunate.
Very true, very true.
Important to note that Pyro absolutely one-shot Johnson Bug V2 after that initial play. There was no counterplay to that. He just got barreled and flash autoed and he's dead.
Oh boy, Meet the Goomers gotta try to claw their way back without giving up the Baron. as unbeknownst to them, they also have a ward in their base while dealing with these super minions, so they're only really safe as the inhibitors all completely respawn, because this is an open nexus and teleport Prasaki is indeed up.
I mean, again, like they can kind of just start the Baron whenever. They can start either of these objectives whenever. It kind of looks like Meet the Groomers are not in a position to stop them at all. Like they're not even playing towards that side. So this will just be a pretty much free Baron.
Of course, the Prey Seeker from Kaisa does fall short, doesn't hit the Baron, but I think it still gave them vision of it, so they probably did know that that was going to happen. Of course, now with Mountain Soul already secured, this will be an Elder Drake fight, most likely. Of course, Meet the Coomers with first move on it, tempo again, but will they give up the position because of the 10,000 gold lead on the side of, BSG, where they could just kind of walk in and do what they want?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Barstool Games would have to turn off their monitors if they really wanted to lose this fight. I don't see how it's humanly possible to lose a fight like this.
Right, it is important to note that all inhibitors are back up, so, the teleport play from Hasaki on the back door is off the table now. It's got to be a 5v5. Ultimate does come through for the Gangplank, finds a chunk onto DVD. He's out of position, concussive blows can be procced, but not quite. He just backs off. The Gangplank ult lands, and the drag is only started now, though. Juno tanking the aggro, BSG looking to keep their opponents off. Dredgeline misses here from DVD, and engage options off the table. Flash W from Juno will find the Kaisa, and Glacial Fissure will find Admiral Bishop. Huge scrap in the back of the fight here. DVD trying to walk out, but won't happen. Looks like Tonin here will be cleaning up the tail end of the fight, as Juno will take down the Kaisa from the previous, and looks like Elder Drake is finally secured by Tonin. And
that'll be all she wrote. Well, that was a little bit of a disappointing fight.
Well, that is a pro late ace, though. That is important to note. But Fire Spitter Gaming showing up on their first game. Well, this was supposed to be their second, and looks like the stream has frozen at the end of the game. It's happening again. Awesome.
Well, they won,
Yeah, they won and lived happily ever after, so we can move on from this. We can cut now. All right, welcome back to the Desjardins Analyst Desk cool down. We had two great games today from all four teams, so that was awesome to watch. The sun is no longer up, which means that it's time for us to probably just, go and have dinner or something. I'm starving, but those were some great games. But
now these are the kind of games I want to be seeing.
Yeah,
the
great
ones where
games.
draft doesn't matter at all, where you're just completely mechanically outplaying your opponent every turn, and nothing makes any sense.
Yep, that's for damn sure. All right. Well, there's not much to analyze. Yeah, as you said, the draft doesn't matter, and people just run at each other and kill each other. I'd say there were some pretty clutch blade reach knockups though coming out of Juno. They were finding the Kaisa pick a few times in those team fights, diving in alone with only a gourd drinker on his back to keep himself alive. But outside of that, very well played for both teams on the most part. Although
the GP has to be a must ban. No,
yeah,
I think the GP's got to be a must ban
for sure. But also, it would have been nice to see more proactive full-on engages onto the correct targets, though onto the key targets from the side of Meet the Coomers in those. They had a lot of good engages, but none of them were really onto the Misfortune, aside from the beautiful one where DVD flashed over the wall and then just hooked Tonin while he was standing there all in. He was like in between the Braum as well, and who was the other one? There's someone else there, but either way, that was like a really well made, well played hook. But aside from that, I can't remember any other time where they took out the key targets. But yeah, for sure. All right.
We're tired, and we'll see you back here next week for some
Yeah,
amazing games in SMLCS Season 2.
I can't string together my thoughts, but again, Bar Spitter Gaming raising the bar for everyone else. We'll see you guys in day 4 of the SMLCS.